because there's news all over in Ghana about a meeting between the officials of FIFA and our GFA this Thursday and Friday. And it has to do with the introduction of VAR in Ghana football and the Ghana Premier League and other leagues we have in Ghana. So VAR introduction in Ghana football, let's get to hear from you on that. Do you really want the VAR introduced in the Ghana Premier League? Are you ready for it? Or you think we should hold on and fix other issues we have to deal with in Ghana football, first of all, before VAR is introduced in Ghana football? Let's get to hear from you on that. I'm sure, ordinarily when things have been introduced, there's always a piloting. They may do a pilot, but whatever it is, I mean, we will want to see it. If it's going to be in the Ghana Premier League, it must be at every match center.
That's the thing.
Ideally, it must be at every single match center to avoid possible controversial things being said. Because, and I always say this, VAR is a very good element we've added to the game of football. Yes, in the EPL, they're having issues with the implementation, interpretations, and how they use it in the EPL.
Yeah.
But interestingly, all the controversies are mostly in the English Premier League. Hardly have you in the past 3 or 4 seasons had any issues of VAR in the Italian Serie A where it is used, Liga. In a Spanish league where it is used, in the German Bundesliga where it is used. You hardly will hear these controversies, or even the Champions League. Anytime you hear a controversy around VAR, is the English Premier League.
I think it has to do with their rules and regulations.
No, some of us have always said that it's just a deliberate ploy by the officials involved, in referees themselves, to always ensure that the VAR is in the wrong news in the EPL. So eventually, they'll move and let it go off. Because how difficult is it, Monica, to simply look at your behind the screens as officials, your referees as well. If a referee misses a call, you have to just see it. If it's a mistake on the referee, correct it by telling him, made a mistake, go watch it, correct it.
The talk back.
Simple as that. How is it always leading to controversies? Only in England. When in Spain, you don't have these controversies out there. Italy, no controversies. Germany, no controversies. But England, every day controversy was
I like the pay you added.
I'm saying that for me, over the years, I think that it's a deliberate ploy by the officials, because for the machine will work.
The machine is
but
working.
But the human being must interpret what the machine is saying.
It's saying.
That's where they made the mistakes. Last week, for instance, the Man U game against West Ham. Nobody can tell me that penalty awarded to West Ham was a penalty. It was not a penalty.
It wasn't. So it was a decision by the back room.
Somebody watched somewhere and think that was a penalty and called the referee. And it was a messy situation. You won't see it in Spain. You won't see it in Germany. You won't see it in anywhere else but England. And almost every season, it happens severally. So for me, if it's not a deliberate ploy, what else?
Take it out.
Because why are they not getting the mistakes or the controversies out there in other countries and the Champions League and Europa, but only in England? Everyday issues with the VAR. So for me, I would love it if they bring it to Ghana, because it will help our referees. One of the key things it helps is the offsides, the wrong calls, penalties, those wrong calls. And they are always key in football. And in Ghana, we know how many times teams complain,
and players
complain, fans complain about wrong penalty calls. We got a penalty, it wasn't given to us. A goal was scored, it was offside. We get all these things every single day, every single week in the Ghana Premier League. So if VAR will indeed be brought into the GPL, for some of us, that would be brilliant news. Yes, but I will want it done at all the centers.
All the centers.
And the question will be, do we have what it takes to do it?
That's the thing now.
Then we must invest. It is when I'm saying FIFA are doing this with the GFA, we must invest. Because it means those who are good with IT, technology, and all those guys will have to be brought on board. We must get the screens required. We must get all the technology involved. And then one key bit to be the coverage of the games, because they rely on these games coverage to do the VAR checks.
Imagine what we are experiencing
now. So all
the
camera angles we will need to get all those things done. It's a huge thing.
It's a huge thing.
I'm telling you, it's a huge thing. By bringing VAR, you cannot go to a match center with 4 cameras.
No, multiple cameras.
You cannot go to a match center with 4 cameras where you have covering the game to give the referee and the VR all the angles they would need. Because if an offside call is called, they must get an angle where it is in direct line so they can draw the lines and get it right.
You need an angle. You need an angle behind the goalpost. You need an angle from left and right.
Over.
You need
all over. So
and then the jeep.
I'm telling you.
The jeep as well.
For the GFA, if they really mean to get this thing done, then they must be ready. Because it will mean huge investment in the Ghana Premier League as far as coverage is concerned as well. The current comedy of coverage you're having in a GPL cannot help. And I maintain the word I used because it's comedy we are doing here. You cannot have a premier or professional league covered the way we are seeing them do in this season. It's been comedy. And the earlier they check it, the better. You try to watch GPL games on these networks who are doing the coverage, and the camera work, quality of camera work, quality of the visuals you are seeing is questionable. Commentary is questionable. People are saying things in commentary that are so bad. Words in commentary, terrible. Summary, terrible. Names, terrible. So please, if you want to bring VAR in, which I am all for, GFA, Keto Kreko and a GFA, it's good, it's a good move. But it will mean that you must now invest heavily in the VR machinery plus the coverage, because they will need all the angles, camera angles, to get the calls right. Technology will work, but it comes with its cost. If we are ready, let's go out and invest, because some of us are all for it. We are not the first in Africa. Others are using it in Africa already. Yeah. So if we want to move there, that's fine. But the investment must be right. And then our coverage, I repeat, the coverage, hey, it's important. You can't be doing this anywhere. This coverage you are seeing in the GPL, this thing you are seeing, I don't want to mention the names of the channels doing these things, but clearly it's not good enough. We must invest in a production house who have got the machinery, the cameras who require the personnel. The personnel. To give us the right crew production. That's the thing. To give us the quality we would need. Not the current one we are seeing, which